Welcome back to Steve and Abby English. I am Steve.
And I am Abby. Thank you so much for joining us again today, everyone.
It is always wonderful to have our returning listeners back with us. We really appreciate you spending your time with us. Today we are talking about something so incredibly fun. Have you ever traveled thousands of miles just to buy something related to your favorite hobby?
Oh my goodness, yes! I feel like this is the main reason I even buy plane tickets these days. I just want to find cool stuff.
Completely. Today we are diving into our ultimate shopping experiences in Tokyo. We are going to explore both spontaneous splurges and focused collecting.
Tokyo is such a dangerous place for your wallet, especially if you love anime, video games, or just cool little toys.
It really is. The stores are absolutely amazing, but completely overwhelming. By the way, guys, native speakers tend to talk pretty fast when we get really excited about our hobbies. You might hear some fast, casual phrases today.
Exactly. It might feel challenging at first to catch every single word, but that is completely normal. Please do not worry if you miss something.
Right. And to help with that, you should definitely download the free full-text transcript right now. It is located in the show description.
Yes, please grab that transcript. It is such a helpful tool for this episode. You can read along while we talk, which makes it so much easier to catch those fast, natural phrases we use when we talk about traveling and shopping.
It really builds your listening muscle memory. And remember, do not be hard on yourself. Listening muscle memory takes real time, but reading the transcript while you listen speeds up the process so much.
I totally agree. It takes the pressure off. You can just relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the stories without stressing about perfect understanding.
Okay, so speaking of stories, we both had some wild shopping days the last time we visited Japan.
We really did. I think I completely lost my mind in one particular neighborhood. I was just walking around looking at everything.
I remember that day perfectly. You came back to the hotel with so many heavy bags. I was honestly shocked you could carry everything up to our room.
I was definitely struggling to hold all of them. It was a serious workout.
All right, let us jump right into today's first real talk and hear all about it.
So, I was staying near Tokyo Station, and I decided to take the train up to Akihabara on a Tuesday afternoon. I was on a very specific mission.
A very serious mission.
Exactly. I really wanted to find this one specific sleeping Eevee plushie. It was supposed to be super soft, and I just needed it for my living room couch back home. So I walked into this massive electronics and hobby building.
Those buildings are huge.
Huge is a total understatement. It was 8 floors of pure chaos. I was just wandering around the first few floors, and I saw way too many cool things. I was looking at phone cases, action figures, and old video games. I completely forgot about the Eevee plushie.
Classic distraction.
Totally. First, I saw this entire wall of those little capsule toy machines. You know, the ones where you put in a coin, turn the big plastic dial, and a prize drops down?
Oh yeah, gachapon machines. I easily spent $20 on those last time we went. They are so addictive when you are trying to collect a full set.
They really are addictive. I started putting coins into every single machine that had a cute Pokemon in it. I was just getting so happy seeing the little plastic balls pop out with a surprise inside.
So relatable.
I spent maybe an hour just twisting those dials. I got a tiny Pikachu holding a piece of sushi, a grumpy-looking Snorlax, and way too many random keychains. I really tend to geek out when I see miniature versions of things I love.
Geek out, yeah.
Yeah, I totally lose my cool and act like a little kid in a candy store. Anyway, after I finally forced myself to walk away from the machines, I took the escalator up to the 6th floor.
To finally find the plushie?
That was the original plan, but I stepped off the escalator and walked straight into a massive crane game arcade. The energy was just wild up there.
Oh no, a total trap.
A massive trap. The lights were so bright and the music was so incredibly loud. And right there in the front, I saw these giant, fluffy, round Pokemon pillows inside the glass boxes. They were not Eevee. They were just weird, cute shapes.
Wait, I remember you showing me those pillows at the hotel. You actually won those from the arcade machines? I honestly thought you bought them at a normal cash register.
I sure did win them. But honestly, I had no idea what I was doing at first. I was dropping 100 yen coin after coin, just watching the metal claw completely fail to grab the pillow. It kept slipping off the soft fabric.
So incredibly frustrating.
Really frustrating. Luckily, a very nice staff member saw my struggle and walked over. He actually opened the glass door and moved the pillow so it was balancing perfectly right on the edge of the drop hole.
That is amazing customer service.
I know, right? Thanks to his help, I managed to win 3 giant pillows. But then I had a huge problem. They were way too big to fit in my backpack.
What did you do?
The arcade staff gave me this enormous clear plastic bag, so I walked out of the building onto the street carrying a clear bag the size of a trash bag, fully loaded with giant pillows and about 20 little plastic capsules.
Absolutely incredible.
I never even found the sleeping Eevee. I looked around for 5 more minutes, but I was sweating from carrying everything. I just totally failed my mission. But I did pick up way too many fun memories and ridiculous souvenirs along the way.
Hold on. Before we go further, you just used some really great words there. Let us get into our Real Talk Breakdown. Welcome to the Real Talk Breakdown. This is where we look at the natural, everyday phrases we use, so you do not have to sound like a boring textbook.
Yes! Using these casual phrases makes you sound so much more human and relaxed when you speak. It takes time to learn them, but please do not feel stressed. Just try to use them when you chat with friends. It might feel a little challenging at first, but that is completely normal.
Exactly. Do not be hard on yourself. The first phrase I want to highlight is geek out. Abby, you said, I really tend to geek out when I see miniature versions of things I love.
I sure did. When you geek out over something, it means you get overly excited about a specific hobby or interest. You lose your cool in a very fun, harmless way. It is a very enthusiastic phrase.
Right. Instead of saying something stiff and formal like, I become very enthusiastic about small toys, we just say geek out. It shows passion and a little bit of silly joy. It is totally okay to geek out.
Here's a quick example. Whenever a new fantasy movie comes out, my older brother will completely geek out and talk about the cool special effects for hours.
That is a great example. And here is mine. I totally geek out when I find a really well-organized spreadsheet for my daily schedule. It just makes my brain so happy.
You really do love your schedule, Steve. It is a perfectly good thing to geek out about, honestly. We all have our weird little things we love.
Thanks. The second phrase we need to talk about is pick up. At the end of your story, you said, I did pick up way too many fun memories and ridiculous souvenirs along the way.
Yes, pick up is one of the most common phrasal verbs in spoken American English. In this context, it just means to buy or get something casually.
We use pick up instead of the word purchase. Purchase sounds very serious and formal, almost like you are buying a huge house or signing a business contract. Pickup feels like an everyday, easy shopping trip.
Exactly. It feels very low pressure. For example, I need to go to the grocery store to pick up some milk and fresh eggs later today.
Perfect. My example would be, I was walking past the bakery this morning, and I decided to pick up a few chocolate chip cookies for us to share.
Ooh, I really hope that is a true story. I am craving cookies right now.
Maybe later. But really, using pickup just makes your English flow so much better. Do not worry if you still say buy or purchase sometimes. You will naturally start using pickup the more you listen to native speakers.
Absolutely. Okay, now that we have got those words down, let us look at the flip side of shopping in Tokyo in real talk too.
So, while you were getting lost in giant claw machines, I was having a completely different kind of day over in Shibuya.
Shibuya is such a cool area. There is always so much happening there.
It is amazing. I love music, especially old jazz music. I had this dream of finding a very specific vintage jazz vinyl record from the 1970s. I knew it was going to be really difficult to find.
A total needle in a haystack situation. Good luck with that.
Exactly. My very first stop was Tower Records. It is this massive, bright yellow building with multiple floors dedicated entirely to music. It is honestly legendary for music fans visiting Japan.
Oh, I have seen photos of that building online. It is absolutely huge.
Yeah, and on this particular Saturday afternoon, the store was completely packed with people. I mean, we were standing shoulder to shoulder in the aisles. Everyone was flipping through the record bins, looking for something special.
Packed with people? That sounds a little stressful to me. I would probably leave.
It was definitely a little intense, but I was highly focused. I went straight up to the jazz floor. I rolled up my sleeves and started flipping through the wooden crates. Record after record, just sliding them back and forth.
Wait, how long were you actually standing there doing that?
Well, I kind of lost track of time. I think I stood in that exact same aisle for about 3 straight hours. I was just carefully checking every single artist's name, letter by letter.
3 whole hours? Ugh, my back would be hurting so much. I definitely do not have that kind of extreme patience for shopping. I would just give up and go eat some hot ramen instead.
It is definitely not for everyone. But for record collectors, it is part of the fun. The feeling of searching is half the experience. Anyway, after 3 hours of seeing absolutely nothing, my legs were getting pretty tired. I decided to move to the very back corner of the store.
Did you finally find it back there?
Not at first. The back corner was full of used, discounted records. The covers were a little dusty, and things were not organized perfectly. I almost gave up and walked out of the building completely, but I forced myself to keep flipping through one last dusty box.
Oh, the suspense is really building now.
And suddenly, right near the very back of a bottom box, I saw the thin paper spine of the record I wanted. I recognized the classic font immediately.
No way! You actually found the exact one you wanted?
I did. I carefully pulled it out, and the vinyl condition was perfect. Not a single scratch on the record itself. I just stood there holding it in the crowded aisle, feeling this massive wave of relief. It felt so incredibly good to finally hunt down that specific album after searching for years.
That is incredible! I would be jumping up and down in the store.
I was smiling so hard. I paid for it immediately and walked out of the store feeling like a total winner. I even bought a nice iced coffee to celebrate while watching all the busy people cross the famous Shibuya street.
Celebrating a good purchase with an iced coffee is always a great move. It is the best feeling in the world.
It really is. It was a completely different vibe from your crazy arcade adventure, but it was easily the highlight of my entire trip. It taught me that sometimes having a solid plan really pays off in the end.
That is such a totally different vibe from my wild story. But wait, I heard you drop some very interesting phrases just now. Time for our second Real Talk breakdown.
Welcome back to the breakdown. Let us look at 3 more expressions from my record shopping story.
I love this part of the show! We get to take those colorful expressions and make them super easy to understand. And hey, if it feels a little strange to use these phrases at first, please do not worry. It is a completely normal part of learning. Your brain just needs time to get used to them.
That is such good advice. Let us start with our first phrase. I said the record store was completely packed with people.
Yes, packed. We use this all the time instead of saying a place is very crowded or full. When you say something is packed, it gives a really strong feeling of being squeezed in, like clothes stuffed into a small suitcase.
Exactly. Instead of saying the formal phrase, the room has reached maximum capacity, you just say it is packed. Here is an everyday example. I tried to go to the new Italian restaurant downtown last night, but it was totally packed, so we had to eat somewhere else.
Good example. Here is mine. The morning train was so packed today that I could not even hold my coffee cup properly.
Classic city life. Okay, moving to our second phrase. I told you I stood in the same aisle for 3 hours because I lost track of time.
I do this way too often. To lose track of time means you are so focused or relaxed that you completely forget what time it is. It is much more natural than saying, I failed to monitor the clock.
Right, you are just living in the moment. For my example, I completely lost track of time while organizing my email inbox yesterday, and I almost missed my dinner plans.
Typical Steve. For me, I was just lying on the couch watching funny dog videos on my phone, and I completely lost track of time. Suddenly, it was midnight.
We have all been there. Our third and final phrase for this section is hunt down. I said it felt so incredibly good to finally hunt down that specific album.
Hunt down is a great phrasal verb. It means to search very hard for something that is difficult to find. It sounds so much more active and exciting than simply saying, I looked for an item.
It really does. My car was making a strange noise last month, and I had to hunt down a mechanic who actually knew how to fix it.
Nice one. My example would be, I went to 3 different grocery stores just to hunt down my favorite brand of spicy potato chips.
We have covered some great expressions today, but there are a few sneaky traps you need to watch out for. Let us jump into common mistakes and make sure you do not get them wrong. Welcome to Common Mistakes. Let us talk about where people usually get this wrong, because a few tiny words can change everything.
Exactly. We really want to help you fix these little traps before you make them. What is the first mistake today, Steve?
The first trap is with the phrase, wander around. In your story, you said you were wandering around the first few floors. Many learners say, I was wandering around to the store.
I hear that a lot. The fix is simple. Do not say wandering around to. Just say, I was wandering around the store.
Right. The reason is that wander around means you have no specific destination. Adding the word to sounds like you are going straight to a place, which breaks the meaning.
That makes sense. Okay, trap number 2. You said the store was packed with people. A common mistake is saying the store was packed of people.
Yes. The fix is to always use the preposition with. The store was packed with people.
And the why is simple. When a room is completely full, we describe it as being packed with those specific things.
Exactly. Trap number 3. People often say, I lost my time, when they mean they forgot what time it was.
Please do not say, I lost my time. That makes it sound like you wasted your life. The correct fix is, I lost track of time.
The why is that you are not losing the actual hours. You are just losing your track or measurement of the passing minutes.
Rapid review time. Do not say wander around to the store. Say wander around the store.
Do not say packed of people. Say packed with people.
Do not say lost my time. Say lost track of time.
And that is how you use them in the wild. But how does that compare to what you learned in school? Let us check out textbook versus real life. Welcome to Textbook versus Real Life. Textbook English is 100% understandable, so please do not be hard on yourself if you still use it. We just want to give you some more natural, easy options for your daily conversations. Let us start with number 1. I walked for a long time without a solid plan.
I was just wandering around.
Using wander around paints a much more relaxed picture of your walking. It sounds wonderful. Number 2. I became very excited about the new toys.
I totally geeked out over the new toys.
Geek out shows a fun, passionate energy that formal words just cannot capture in everyday speaking. Number 3. I purchased a lot of small items today.
I picked up a bunch of little things today.
Pickup sounds like an easy, casual shopping trip instead of a very serious business transaction. Number 4. The music store had too many people inside today.
The record store was completely packed.
Saying packed gives a strong visual feeling of being squeezed together in a very tight space. It is highly descriptive. Number 5. I searched very hard to find the jazz album.
I finally hunted down the jazz album.
Hunt down makes your long shopping trip sound like a rewarding and exciting adventure, not a boring task.
All right, you have heard us talk enough today. It is time to build that listening muscle memory right now. Let us jump straight into the shadowing practice.
Here is a quick pro tip for you. Please hit the pause button after you hear each sentence and repeat it out loud at your own pace.
Speaking out loud is the real secret. Our first sentence today uses geek out. Use this whenever you see something you really love. Listen and repeat.
I always geek out over this.
I always geek out over this.
Moving on to the second one. This sentence uses pick up. You can use this simple template when running to the store for basic groceries. Here we go. I need to pick up some things.
I need to pick up some things.
And our final expression is lost track of time. This is perfect for when you are late because you were distracted by a hobby. Listen and repeat. I completely lost track of time.
I completely lost track of time.
Great job practicing today. Let us wrap things up with some final thoughts. Today we learned that talking about your travel stories is a great way to practice natural English.
Remember, learning takes real time. Some days will feel very slow, and that is completely okay. Every time you show up in practice, you are moving forward. Stay consistent, stay curious, and trust the process.
If this lesson helped you, please hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds and genuinely helps us reach more learners. Please subscribe for new weekly episodes.
What is your favorite thing to shop for on vacation? Tell us in the comments below. Thank you for your time, and click the next video to keep leveling up your English.